Now on CoastTV News.
This pastor speaks out after being detained by ICE. The emotional story this Easton pastor only tells to CoastTV News.
Split on stop signs.
Just going to cause more traffic both ways.
Where Millsboro wants to change roads.
5 times the fines.
I don't think that needs to be implicated.
What you could do in Ocean City that may soon cost you up to $5,000.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Cars stopping at a busy Millsboro intersection. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. Our top story tonight is a call for a big traffic change.
Delaware Avenue and Laurel Avenue right now has 2 stop signs. In an hour, the town will decide whether they make it 4. Coast TV News reporter Brandon Ferguson is live there in Millsboro. Brandon, the town has considered this for months.
Maddie, you can see the traffic flowing at this intersection right now. Consistent flow in this middle lane of Laurel Avenue and just one car across on Delaware Avenue. But people we spoke with say in the morning hours from 8 to 10 a.m. right here on Delaware Avenue, it's the complete opposite. Cars lined up all the way to Route 113, and people in the area we spoke with says adding 2 more stop signs to this intersection will only make things worse.
Traffic flowing on Delaware Avenue and Laurel Avenue. This intersection is where the town of Millsboro is deciding Monday on adding 2 more stop signs.
I don't think a 4-way is the answer.
George Rogers has lived on Delaware Avenue for over 30 years. He says traffic already backs up way too much with 2 stop signs.
A 4-way stop is just going to cause more traffic both ways.
Millsboro Councilman Marty Presley said in a meeting with DelDOT, this intersection is already difficult to use even without beach traffic, so something needs to change.
Neighbors we spoke to off camera that live here on Delaware Avenue and use this intersection every day say the town should look at different options rather than a 4-way stop. Some neighbors told us a circle would fit here better, or just leave it the same as a 2-way, or possibly put a traffic light here.
For now, 2-way stops at Delaware Avenue and Laurel Avenue.
Millsboro Town Manager Jamie Burke says the town is not completely out on putting a traffic light here at the intersection, but a 4-way stop sign proposal is much easier time-wise rather than a traffic light here, which DelDOT says planning and eventually finishing it could take up to 2 to 3 years. Live in Millsboro, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
Also at that Millsboro Town Council meeting tonight, the town's DelDOT committee will give an update on its progress. Since the committee was formed, a traffic light has been put at the entrance of Plantation Lakes. The committee has also discussed lowering the speed limit on Radish Road. Now, a decision on that 4-way stop Brandon reported on will be made following that committee report.
Some fines in Ocean City could cost you a whole lot more if a new ordinance passes tonight. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappe is live in Ocean City. Kevin, there's an entire variety of things that might have people digging a little deeper into their bank account if they have to pay it.
Charlie, these potential increases could affect things such as parking violations, littering, public alcohol offenses, and more. Now, on Monday, the Ocean City Council will hold a second reading that would increase the maximum fines for municipal infractions and misdemeanors. For example, a noise complaint that currently carries a maximum fine of $1,000 could, under the new law, balloon up to a maximum $5,000 fine. One vacationer who's been visiting Ocean City for more than 30 years says the current maximum fine of $1,000 is already more than enough.
I feel that $1,000 is sufficient. I think $5,000 is kind of over the top on something like that. I don't think that needs to be implicated, putting $5,000 fine on something like that.
Now, though the maximum fine could be increasing, most fines in town range between $25 and up. Now, right behind me is the second reading going on right now, and if it does pass, the Ocean City Council will have the option to place those higher fines for those more serious violations. I'm Kevin Zappe, live in Ocean City, Coast TV News.
Here's a look at some more violations in Ocean City that could be affected by higher fines. These violations currently carry a maximum fine of $1,000, and again, that could go up to $5,000. It includes displaying inappropriate material on the boardwalk performers not following the rules, and public indecency.
At 5 p.m., we introduced you to Pastor Daniel Fuentes Espinal, who came to the United States with a tourist visa 24 years ago. Fuentes Espinal admits he overstayed that visa. For a majority of the time he's been in this country, Pastor Fuentes Espinal has been a pastor in Easton.
This summer, the pastor was taken from Easton to Salisbury to Baltimore and then thousands of miles away to Louisiana. CoastTV News reporter Anna Sophia Roman is in our newsroom. Anna Sophia, the pastor tells you that entering his Louisiana detention cell was a terrifying experience.
Maddie Charlie, the pastor says his faith kept him strong behind bars and helped his fellow detainees as well.
When Pastor Daniel Fuentes Espinal arrived at the detention center in Louisiana, he says he immediately noticed much better conditions than the ICE facility in Baltimore. But still, he admits that walking into that cell for the first time was terrifying.
They were screaming, and I said, "Lord, what is happening? Why are you bringing me to this place?" I was shocked by what was happening.
Everything for Pastor Fuentes Espinal changed when he started talking with other detainees. Pastor Fuentes Espinal eventually organized a prayer group inside his cell. Just 2 days after arriving, the prison chaplain invited Pastor Fuentes Espinal to preach at a church inside the facility.
I was lying in my bed and they told me, "Pastor, you're on the news." And I said, "On what news?" They told me, "On television. Come see." Everyone was watching and listening to the report, very happy, saying, "We have the privilege of having you here with us, and you're truly giving us words of encouragement." I could see how they were moved as well. I felt the Lord's presence. I felt God's support working inside that place.
The pastor says the religious gathering grew to over 70 detainees, even coming together on the weekends when the prison church was closed.
Yo tenía otras personas ahí que no eran hispanos, es decir, eran pakistaníes, hindúes, surafricanos. Gente que me decía en inglés, Pastor, me dice, "I don't know what happened here, no entiendo lo que está pasando. I'm feeling something special in my body when you pray, when you preach it. Cuando tú predicas, cuando tú oras, siento algo especial en mi cuerpo." Y yo le decía, "I know what it is. It's the Holy Spirit. Don't worry about it."
That same faith, he says, kept him strong until his bond hearing, where he was granted bond and later released.
How was the moment you saw your daughter, who traveled all the way to Louisiana, to pick you up and bring you back home?
Fue un momento bastante emotivo.
It was a very emotional moment. It truly broke my heart. You just can't hold back the tears in that moment because you're seeing your family. Not everyone was there, but seeing her filled me with emotion. I hugged her and told her how much I loved her.
Pastor Fuentes Espinal says he, his wife, and daughter came to the U.S. on tourist visas after Hurricane Mitch devastated Honduras, which changed their lives and had to make the difficult decision to leave their families and professions behind.
You were accused of overstaying your visa for 24 years. Have you applied for citizenship?
Nosotros hemos buscado información acerca de...
We've looked for information on how we could obtain citizenship. In 2001, I started working for a cleaning company, and the manager asked if I wanted to fix my legal status. I told him yes. Then he said, "Find a lawyer and we'll sponsor you." At that time, there was the 245I law, which allowed you to apply through an employer. When I went to see the lawyer, she told me, "Life can be ironic. If you had entered through the Mexican border, I could have helped you fix your documentation. But your entry was legal. You came in with a visa, and you entered in March of this year, 2001.
Pastor Fuentes Espinal says he never sought legal help again after that.
How has this experience changed your faith or mission as a pastor?
Realmente esto ha marcado un antes y un después.
This has truly marked a before and after in my life, because sometimes, as Christians, we need to go through those moments of fire. Our faith must be tested. Just like gold is tested in the fire, the word says. It's so that our faith may be strengthened and found worthy of praise and glory when Christ returns.
Looking ahead, the pastor says he wants to continue spreading faith and strength to others.
The pastor's next hearing for his immigration case is this spring. We will continue to follow his story. Back to you.
Sophia, thank you. Pastor Fuentes Espinal tells us even though he's on the outside right now, he is helping people inside his former ICE detention center. That story is tonight on Coast TV News at 11.
This brings us into our Coast TV poll for the evening. We want to know what's your biggest concern about immigration today.
Let's take a look at the updated results from last news hour. 48% say human rights, 43% say border safety, 3% say delayed courts, 6% say broken system.
And we have a comment from Dot in Lewis. She says, inhumane the way they are treating human beings.
If you haven't voted yet or left a comment, you still can do that at coasttv.com or the mobile app, and we'll show you updated results at 11. For now, let's take a live look outside into Milford. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us with a check of our forecast.
All right, well, right now we're looking relatively quiet. I mean, we're at calm winds right now in Rehoboth, and our expectation for later tonight dropping to 52 degrees. Mostly clear skies. Now, we are still bracing for some breezy conditions along the beaches. Aside from that, we're staying pretty clear of any adverse meteorological activity for the night. Small craft advisory is going to stay active. Looking out for 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts for us from Lewis Beach to Rehoboth all the way down towards Ocean View, Fenwick Island, also inclusive of Ocean City, and on the other side for the folks that view us in portions of Cambridge. But overall, that rain from earlier this morning, that's out of the way. Coming up, we'll talk more about the chill that's coming.
Paul, thank you. We have a lot more news to get to this evening.
People filling a DART bus with food, how an annual partnership with the Food Bank of Delaware is gathering goods.
But first, Milton could run on Duncan, how one of Milton's main roads is being reshaped, when we're back in just 60 seconds.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
Tonight, Dunkin' Donuts is hoping to get final approval to build here in Milton. The fast food chain would be on Broadkill Road. Now, one person we spoke with says even though big restaurant chains were bound to come, kind of hard to watch in a town with so much history.
I think it'll ruin the small town feel, but it's progress. People want progress. They're going to put a Royal Farms also. Do I like it? Not really.
That town council meeting will take place tonight at 6:30.
Coming up next, Paul Williams in the Coast TV First Alert Weather Center with your full forecast after this.
Pretty much the rest of this week is going to stay pretty quiet, a bit on the chilly side, lots of sunshine. And then next week, like next Monday, that's when the really cold air will step into the picture. But right now in Ocean City, courtesy of our DryTech crawl space camera, we're at 56 degrees currently, and we'll drop down to 53 as early as 10 o'clock under mostly clear skies. Now the winds, that's probably our biggest caveat of concern for this week's forecast. In general, we are expecting for the 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts off of the shore to continue to be a thing for us, at least until Tuesday, because we have the small craft advisory that's active until Tuesday. For example, places like Ocean City, it's still until about, let's say, 1 o'clock or lunchtime for Tuesday. And then we have that same time frame for a small craft advisory on the other side with Easton, as well as over towards the Cambridge area and those regions. So 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts and somewhat choppy as far as the waves are concerned. However, the rain we had earlier, well, now that has pressed on off of the shore and is out of the way, no longer a concern. We have another trough that's developing just to our northwest, but this trough is really a lot of bark and no bite, okay? It's just going to create maybe a few clouds, not expecting any precipitation. Now, there's a cold front behind it. Now, this cold front is what I call about that life, okay? We're talking about it's going to bring in some cold air that's going to begin to introduce us to temperatures falling well into the 30s. But for tonight, we're just kind of playing it safe. We're looking at about 40 degrees, mostly clear skies. And think about this. The average high today is about 63. We actually had a high of 59. So we are a little bit below the norm for this time of the year. And we're at 50 degrees in Long Neck, Georgetown, as well as Milton. But by the time we get into Tuesday morning, we'll start off in the 50s, but we're going to end up at about 62 degrees. But the winds out of the northwest is going to make it feel a bit cooler than that. And then for Wednesday at about 4:30, that's the low that we're going to probably experience inland with temperatures in the lower 40s. Still not the 30s yet, Still not the 30s yet, but we'll warm to the upper 70s and recover nicely for Wednesday. Wednesday's going to feel almost mild. And then, by the way, if you're going out to take beautiful pictures of the foliage, well, this is that time of the year where it's going to actually begin to peak the most for us. You're going to get the best pictures you can get. The next real round of rain, probably on Saturday. You can see by Saturday morning, this line of rain is going to push through pretty quickly and efficiently. So, that being the case, 45 for tonight in clear skies. 62 with abundant sunshine for tomorrow. Then we'll go all the way up to 69 with sunshine on Wednesday. Finally, here's a look at your extended forecast.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, sports fans. The Division I field hockey semifinals are tonight, and our local teams have a chance to get to the biggest stage. First up, it's Smyrna and Caesar Rodney. The Eagles, the number 1 seed. The Riders are the 5th seed. After beating 4th-seeded Odessa 5-zip in the quarterfinals, Smyrna enters this game 16-1. Then number 2, Cape Henlopen, and number 3, Padua. The Vikings got past Polytech last round 8-0. Padua just got past Milford 2-1. Highlights on the final score at 10:30 p.m. And it is truly the best time of the year. Playoffs and win or go home games with dramatic finishes. Let's preview postseason matchups on the gridiron for Maryland football. We start with Class 1A East. Local matchups for local teams do battle Friday night. Then it's Class 2A 1A East. Hammond will travel to Easton, and Southern A will head to Queen Anne County. Both those games Thursday at 6 o'clock. Ken Island plays on Friday. In 2A, Y-High hosts Fairmount Heights, and Parkside will hit the road. And last but not least, Class 3A, a Thursday and Friday clash in the South. That'll for sports. Have a great night, everybody.
Soaring Over the Shore is sponsored by Morse Roofing and Siding.
The Delaware Breakwater East End Lighthouse is synonymous with Lewis. Dating back to 1885, the lighthouse warned mariners of dangerous shoals off Cape Henlopen. While it looks red, it's technically brown. After being automated in 1950 and decommissioned in 1996, the lighthouse has been state property for decades and a beloved symbol on the coast.
You are looking at people fill a DART bus with food donations. This is part of the Stuff the Bus annual food drive for Delawareans in need. The statewide food drive will run through this Saturday, November 8th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily at various locations. Today at the Rehoboth Beach Giant, they say they felt compelled to give.
I think it's always good, to try to give something back to those that need it the most. We're lucky we have our food at home and can go out to a restaurant occasionally. So it's just a give back really to the community.
Non-perishable food items like the items in the man's cart are being accepted. The goal is to stuff the bus with 15,000 pounds of food.
And over right now, we're at 51 degrees. We'll stay in the lower 50s for the rest of the night under mostly clear skies. Now, the winds are going to still stay very active in and around the entire Delmarva Peninsula. With that being the case for us, just be sure that you keep that in mind. Harold, you're our winner. Keep up with your forecast by calling our line. And here's a look at your extended forecast.
I don't like that cold over there.
It's going to be happening soon.
I tried to sneak it in.
And you did your job, Paul, so we appreciate that. Well, hey, thank you so much. And thank you here for joining us for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.